Look, I want to move on, and it's kind of associated. Whilst I was away, and I was most annoyed because from late last year I'd been saying that inquiries into and it was delayed and delayed and delayed, inquiries into goings-on around the election at the Manurewa Marae. There was a massive government inquiry. In the end, they called in a former Attorney General, Mike Heron KC, to conduct an inquiry which has found multiple questionable activities, and there is still a police investigation. There are still many other investigations going on into this. The news broke while I was away, and I thought I would have come back to it being the story of the moment, the most important thing around, as it strikes to the very heart of our democracy. But the story almost seems to have died or disappeared. And another person or another group who are concerned at that is Hobson's Pledge. And the leader of Hobson's Pledge is Don Brash. He joins us now. Don, nice to have you back on the platform. Welcome.
Good morning, Sean. How are you?
Very well. It does seem that the news media have got better things to report on the mainstream, like Te Matatini, the kapa haka competition. Are you people concerned that what has happened at the Marae is being in some way hushed up?
Yeah, I mean, I guess there are several issues here. One is the fact the media has hushed it up, as you say. There's been almost no coverage in the media about it at all. Business Desk has had a good story about it. But the mainstream media are almost silent on it. And the second issue, of course, relates to the government performance. Government departments have handled this extremely badly. And Statistics New Zealand itself has mentioned that they handle it badly, ignoring obvious conflicts of interest, etc.
Well, I think more concerning, Don, to be honest, is the actions of Mr. Lekene from the Electoral Commissioner. And when I came back a week or so ago, I see that the chairman of the Electoral Commission had issued a statement saying he still had confidence in Mr. Lekene, who has said that he knew of the clear conflicts between the Māori Party candidate and Manurewa, but did nothing about it. I'd say the very competence of our Electoral Commissioner is under question.
Well, yes, the Electoral Commission, but also Stats New Zealand and a whole lot of other government agencies. I mean, it's an appalling indictment on the way the system operates, quite apart from the sins of Te Pāti Māori.
Yeah. One gets the feeling almost, Don, that, of course, this all happened last election when Labor were in control. Yep. And I think it's become very clear from a lot of stories coming out now, and indeed some of the tensions emerging between the new government and parts of the bureaucracy, that we had a very politicised and very woke bureaucracy operating. And I get the feeling that even these inquiries are skewed towards protecting the public servants who had acted badly rather than getting to the truth.
Yes, I mean, that's what it looks like. And I mean, the head of Stats New Zealand has tendered his resignation, or rather has said he will not renew his contract when it expires, I think, next month. But boy, that's the least of, well, that's not the least. That's a good start. But clearly a lot of people in the public service turned a blind eye to what was obviously a conflict of interest.
There are ongoing inquiries, though, Don.
That's fair. That's fair comment.
Yeah.
But I mean, how long does it take to work out that something seriously went wrong? I mean, the results of the polling booths indicates clearly to anyone with half a brain that there was a significant miscarriage of justice in there. There was clearly bias in the results.
There was electoral corruption, Don. Let's call it for what it is.
Yep. Let's call it what it is.
But Mr. Tamahiri has kind of publicly laughed and said, well, Labor didn't challenge it in the time frame. He said publicly through his mouthpiece, Joe Losey at the Herald, who used to work for him, John Tamahiri says, we've been cleared of any wrongdoing.
Yeah, well, that has to be, well, if it's true, government is a failure. Government's a failure, because clearly the results of the polling booths suggest clearly that there was corruption at that marae. There ought to be a by-election, quite frankly. I mean, it's outrageous The current sitting MP, the Maori Party MP, won by 42 votes.
Yeah.
Imagine in that particular marae was hundreds of votes.
Yeah. Okay, I hear exactly what you're saying. Well, we have video that we've played on this channel of Mr. Tamahiri saying what to do with census information and envelopes, and he literally says in his own words, that's probably illegal, but I'm telling you to do it anyway. And it would seem to me, though, and we're not too sure yet, too, Don, whether or not the Waipareira Trust, which is inextricably linked with the Māori Party, if that's still got its charitable status or not. Nothing seems to have really happened there either.
Yeah, I mean, there's something seriously wrong with that Denmark, and heads should be rolling, and they're not, and that's not good.
Do you think heads aren't rolling because the senior partner in this coalition government doesn't want to get into these issues?
Well, that's what it looks like, and that's deeply depressing, isn't it? Because, I mean, it's a clearer case of corruption will be very hard to find, because it begs the question whether we should have Maori electorates at all. But there should be a by-election at very least in this one.
All right. Do you lay some of the blame for this at the feet of the Prime Minister not taking a position, not being interested in discussing these issues?
Well, I'm not sure it directly relates to this particular issue, but certainly...